Hi guys, this week I will be giving my Turkish report on transportation, accommodation, food, my personal experiences, and most of all what I observe about Turkey. So let's go. Hi, my name is Paula Simon, a believer who 25 plus years ago made a decision that changed my life, strengthened my faith, which led to a closer walk with God. On this channel, I encourage women to be more proactive in their lives and embrace changes one step at a time. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber or visitor, welcome also. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notification button so YouTube will let you know when a new video is uploaded. And guys, also please share the video. It will be greatly appreciated. As I said, this is my Turkish report. I had a great time. Really and truly, I can't say Turkey lived up to expectation because I did not have any expectation of Turkey. I just heard of the country through Stephanie Perry, decided to visit. And the only thing I really did research was how to get from the airport to my hotel, because I know I was flying into the country sometime about 5:30. I wasn't certain if the place would be bright, if it will be dark. So that was all I did. And then while researching how to get from the airport to my hotel, I stumbled on things like getting the Istanbul cart, which is a metro card to move around. Getting from the airport to the hotel was very easy. The bus took me to a certain spot, and not far from there was a shuttle that will take me from there to the Sheraton Hada Hotel. In the case of accommodation, it was great. I did not do much of an Airbnb in Turkey. I just stick to the hotel because we didn't travel much, as you know, from 2020 to 21. So I had accumulation of points and I had accumulation of rewards night. So with that, I use it at the Sheraton. I choose the Sheraton in Istanbul over the one in Portugal. I had already signed up for Portugal, but then when I look on the website, I realized the hotel in Istanbul is far more nice looking than the one in Portugal, and I'm glad I did. I was treated well. My status as an elite member really played over. I was invited to special events in the evening just for the platinum members. The lunch was good. Everything was great. So I'm so glad that I did not choose the Airbnb. So in Istanbul, I can't say much about Airbnbs, but I know the Sheraton at City Center was fantastic. It's a hotel I would recommend to anybody because I observed how the staff treated other guests. So it couldn't be like it's only me because I'm a platinum member. No, they were thorough throughout. They were very, very helpful. They will inquire from you if you need any help, if they see you walking through the hallway. And in like a really encouraging way, like they really want to help you. My accommodation there was fantastic. In the case of transportation in Istanbul was great. And it is, because there's so many buses. You have the train, you have the light rail, and everything interconnect. And if you're looking as a visitor, especially if you're coming out of America or even England, where the pounds and the US dollars is higher than the Turkish lira, your money will really work. And when you're calculating, in some cases, you will spend like 90 cents or 75 cents, and you had about 3-4 hours of transportation, be it the bus or the light rail or the train. It was easy to move around and it was not costly. And because it's not costly, it's easy to jump up and on and off a bus or go in the train and come out back and catch another one because you're not spending much money. In the case of the taxis, I only used a taxi heading to the airport and it came through the hotel. But I think the taxi fares be fluctuating. It's that based upon who you talk to, and I think the time of the day, even if you're going to the same spot, they'll change the price. But even when you calculate it in US dollars, I paid like $9 to go to the airport. Nowhere, the minute you mention airport in Atlanta or in New York, you have to be thinking somewhere upward of $45. It used to be like $35, but now with the price of gas, you know it gone way up. So for $9 a taxi, it is a bargain. Taxis are all over. Although they say they have Uber there, they advise me that if you only book a Uber, there's always cancel and then a taxi is turned up. So apparently there's something with Uber and the Turkish people, and who knows, maybe the chance of earning, and then they have to split the earnings with Uber they don't want to do. So although Uber's supposed to be there, there was advice not to use Uber. So the taxis are everywhere. You would walk within 5 or 10 minutes, you would find a taxi stand. And if there's not a taxi stand, there are these little yellow boxes on posts. You might even find it next to the bus stop, where if you press the button there, a taxi will turn up. This thing was so interesting. When I came out of the hotel, the Sheraton Hotel, there was one there that you could press and a taxi will come and pick you up. So if the bus is taking too long or you just don't want to deal with the bus, you could press and a taxi would be there. And there are taxi stands all over. And they were available. According to a guy that I was talking to when I went to get my PCR test done, he said they're only available now because the place isn't crowded. And to me, the place was crowded. He said summertime, you will be waiting forever for taxi because they'll be fully booked out. And I could imagine a tourist taking a taxi and having the driver for the whole day, because it is pennies on a dollar in comparison if you're in North America. I don't know about any other part of Europe, but I know in North America, it's pennies on a dollar. So he said during summertime, you can't get a taxi. But when I was there, taxi was all around. And it was easy to get. The taxis clean. The drivers will make an attempt to understand you using Google Translate, and you get stuff done. So for transportation, it was relatively easy and it was cheap. In the case of the food, I could say about the breakfast at the hotel. And apparently in Turkey, they have a huge breakfast, because you will see things like parsley, mint, fennel, all these things is next to the fruit. So you're having the fruit and you're having all these herbs. It's part of the meal. Several kind of yogurts. Don't talk about the cheese and olive. They're honey. They're big on Nutella. If you like Nutella, you find it a lot in Turkey, right? And every breakfast had on average about 5 or 6 hot dishes. And you would get your either lentil soup or tomato soup. They have soup for breakfast. And they have different kind of eggs. And then if you want, you could always order omelette. You could ask for your freshly squeezed orange juice. I think it's something you have to pay for in the Sheraton. I didn't have to pay for it, but if you go there and stay and you don't have this platinum status, you will have to pay for the freshly squeezed orange juice. But food-wise, after having breakfast, I could have gone till about 3, 4 o'clock in the day before I need more food. So you could go a long period without having to look for lunch, because you have such, when I said a huge breakfast, a huge breakfast. And if you're a person with a big appetite, you will be in hog heaven in the Turkish breakfast. So for that food, I ate out a few times. I could remember the night manager at Sheraton, Ozzy, she took me to this lovely restaurant. It was on the sea, so you're feeling the waters, the wave going, the building was shaking. But I had a great sea bass there. I ate a lot of fish, right? I went more for the fish than I went for chicken or anything like that. The food was good. I won't say it's anything that I would be raving about, but it was good food. And it was fresh. The tomatoes, pineapple, and the oranges, all the food tastes so good and it's fresh. I can't remember eating so much of cucumber before, but I ate a lot of cucumber in Turkey. I had a great experience with the food. With experiences, it's based on what you would like. For me, there's a park, there are benches, I'm seeing a lot of flowers, I'm seeing a lot of plants, now it's running water, and I'm in hog heaven. I find the scenery great. If you're a person who like hot air balloon, they have a certain part of Turkey that you could go to. And I guess if you were interested in certain things, you will find it. I was interested in finding a place to walk and see something different. But along with that, I was able to visit 2 waterfalls. I get to drive through the real Turkish neighborhoods. You see the difference in the homes. You see the difference in the way the people dress. You feel the whole difference, the way they drive on the road, the way somebody will decide to walk in front of the car or the bus. That is what you saw mostly in those little areas that is off the tourist area. And every area have a little park, have several benches, have a water display, and you will see a cat and a dog. There's no if, but, and maybe about it. And a little warning for you. If you go anywhere in Turkey, you don't see a cat and a dog, be very suspicious. Something is wrong there. Because these animals are all around. And if you look at them, they do not look like if they're street animals. They look very well groomed and most naturally fed. The dogs is like little ponies. They're huge. The cats will be hanging out on the benches at the bus stop. And the dog would be there and you could walk up and down over them. They're sleeping, they're doing whatever it is. It's like if you're intruding on their space, you know? So they're being fed on the streets. You see the little bowls with food and water. And even you see somebody will put a set of blanket in a car and you think it's for human being, it's for the dog. Everywhere you go, you see the dog, the cat. There's a little water display, there are benches, there's flowers and things like that. That is what I find unique in Istanbul and when I went to Antalya, right? One of the things you will see is a lot of police presence. They are all over. And guys, you look at every building, everywhere, there are cameras. I was looking at in the busy tourist areas. I see people have the handbag over the shoulder, things flying. No one was like guarded with the exception of perhaps a few of us tourists. And then I started thinking, no one is worried. But then with so many police presence around and everybody know that you're being recorded, I think they might think twice about trying to rob somebody because they would find you, right? They're all over. You see them with the guns drawn, but they're there. I never felt intimidated. I never felt scared or anything, you know, they're just there. I see a few people looking like me. And they had a lot of times I might be in a surrounding for over half an hour and I will be the only person looking like me. Right? That and all was, you know, was something I find interesting about the state. I know they are black people, but I didn't see them much. Perhaps they weren't in the tourist areas. They were at work or at school or whatever the case might be. But I did not see much black people in Turkey. I know we're there, but I didn't see much of us. So there's another thing that I find interesting. Another thing is that they have elevators and escalators even on the street. You know, you might need to cross on one side of the road to the other. There might not be a traffic light. No, there is a crossing overhead. But to get up to the crossing, there's either elevators, escalator, and stairs. So you walk up, you walk across the road, and then it's the same thing down. It was all over. Rarely would you see one of those over the road crossings where you have to walk up the stairs. Even in the subways and things like that, you have all of these options. Rarely would you have to be walking somewhere downstairs with a heavy bag and there isn't an escalator or elevator. That I found very, very interesting and very good for you to move around without stress, like crossing the road and things like that. So that is what I observe about Turkey. Another thing too is that you don't ever, especially in Istanbul, drive up too near to the airport entrance. No, the taxi drives you way off. Then there is things in the road that will prevent a car from driving or any vehicle. And then you have to walk over like a bridge to get to the other side, to get nearer to the entrance to the airport, and right there is security. You see it a lot in places like that. You don't have to drive wrong like in Atlanta. You could drive right wrong and you come near to the door and you just step off and walk in there. No, that don't happen. In Istanbul, you stop a good way before you get into the airport. And all around, there are security and they have this security with guns. But somewhere or the other, it just did not bother me. You know, it just didn't. So the place is very, very interesting. If you're thinking about traveling, get a chance to visit it. You know for certain your money will stretch it, your money will last longer. If you're coming out to the US or you have pounds, you know, you have that. I heard if you're staying for long, you could stay up to 6 months in Turkey with a US passport, no problem. Now I heard that to get somewhere for long-term staying, like rent and so, get very high. And I believe they operate a lot on who you know. Even if they advertise an apartment, there's always like the best one or the best price comes from like personal connection. People who knows you or you know somebody that will help you. But I saw things that I haven't seen since I was a child, like someone repairing shoes. It was so nice to see these cobblers, and it wasn't one, it was about 5 or 6 of them in like a little building, and you could go, you actually see them repairing shoes, and they have person's shoes there. That would bring me right back to like as a young adult, back home again, and they had cobblers that you could take your shoes and get them repaired. That had a lot of times that you're driving. It reminds me of back home. I know the Turkish people are not Indians, but I grew up in a country with a lot of Indians. So there's something about them remind me of an Indian person. So seeing them, like, I don't know, there was a sort of a ease or a comfort. It's because like I know them, although I don't know them. We don't speak the same language, but I felt comfortable with them, like they're familiar, because they look a lot like Indians, you know, and the way they dress, especially the older Indians that I grew up with, the older Indian women back home in Guyana. I have so many videos, so many pictures, photos that I will be bringing out gradually as I go through, and I see something interesting, I will be sharing it. But the best thing for you guys to enjoy Turkey is to actually visit. You will have a good time, and you don't have to stay forever. You could just spend 2, 3 weeks or whatever the case may be, but I know for certain you would have a good time. It was so nice to be back. So nice to talk with you guys. I have so many video ideas. Some I start working on, some I haven't. So I will be bringing it out, not only about my travels, but all the changes that I have made in my own personal life. I will be sharing it with you guys. Have a blessed week, and do take care. And please share the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm looking forward for your support. So take care and have a blessed week. Bye.